Wait, is this Instagram?
Yeah, life.
Back up a little. You're up on my face like that. Okay. In the Yoga Sutras, back up a little. In the Yoga Sutras, it says, love all men of good faith equally. No, that's in the Quran. Oh my God. The Quran. Love all men of good faith equally. And I've been talking a little bit about the sameness of religion. But today I'm going to talk about something a little more interesting to some people. I'm going to talk about my man, my homie Scromy. You know, old people, we say, my homie Scromy. My nigga. Like my real, absolute, you know what I mean? Like people like, there's certain people that stay with you when struggle comes. Other people disappear. You know, you don't judge them for it, but you realize they can't, they don't have the courage to stand up when you need them. And that is okay. Everybody doesn't have the same amount of courage. A lot of people don't get involved in other people's struggle. They get involved in their success. And that, it's okay. So I gave so-and-so this, and when I needed it, he didn't give me nothing. Well, give love and don't expect anything in return, and God will find other ways for you to get your due. Always. That's kind of what happens. So I want to talk about one of my heroes. He's not here yet. Birdie, are you watching me? My hero will be here in a minute. In the short term, Snoop's going to come on. And what we did with Eric Sermon, where we really celebrated him on behalf of the Hip Hop Museum, we're doing a series. And we're going to get probably everybody to talk about a little bit about their beginnings. You know, we come out of the hood, most of us, and we got struggle. We came from the gang, came from whatever. My friends was bank robbers. Niggas was drug dealers.
248,000, Russell.
248,000 what?
Persons.
Corona?
We have to keep pushing that.
Oh, be careful.
You got it.
Fuckers, be careful. Wear a mask.
You got to talk about it. You got to tell people.
I do, but I think everyone's wear a mask.
You're coming like Trump. You keep forgetting.
I'm not like Trump, nigga. It's not my job to. But wear a mask.
It is your job, right there, Fred, to tell.
Wear a mask, everybody. Black Ice. Black Ice, we want to get to you. I want to do a whole hour with your poetry. You love Eric Sermon? Yeah, he was great yesterday. I enjoyed having him for 2 days. We played his music and talked about him. And thanks for Crush Groove. Sometimes I'm overwhelmed with the gratitude that I receive from people.
We need a remake of Crush Groove.
Oh, I'm not.
Of course, that'd be the bomb.
Fat
right now.
bomb. People bring up old shit, and you know, I like to do new shit.
Way back then.
Because, like, my contribution for the future is what I worry about. I'm building a school with 35 bedrooms that will teach teachers how to teach other people how to get out of the suffering. I'm building a rejuvenation resort. I want to make that for everyone. I want to spread it around the world through online programs, which will be starting in January, programs. And I want to just start giving the world ways to get out of the suffering. One of the things I talk about a lot, you know, over and over is what not to eat. Animals. Dominion over the animals. I talk about that. And I want to make sure the rest of my life is about lifting people out of suffering and into a more, what's the word? Holistic, happy life. So God's given me a chance to have yet another chapter. I mean, there was film and television, there was poetry, and there was comedy, and there was fashion, there was music. And now there's health and wellness, I think. My job is to give people a way out of the suffering and into more happy, holistic lives. Brother Gary's eating fruit. This nigga here sitting here eating fruit.
Well, you said you gotta eat to live, right? I'm trying to live, nigga. I ain't trying to die. I don't know about you all.
Well, you came to me. He worked for me for 30 years. I told this story twice now, like an old man. But 30 years ago, this nigga came to me. He was in pretty good shape. He worked for 25, 27 years. Went away for 3 years. Come back pre-diabetic. Fucker. And within 6 months, though, the doctor said no more pre-diabetic. So he's not as much at risk. If he gets corona, he might not end up twisted.
I'm wearing my mask.
95% less likely to be twisted from corona if he gets it. Of course you wear your mask. He's scared. This nigga's scared of trees. I swear to God, we live in the forest, he walk around with a mask.
You got it scared of what you can't see, Russell.
You stupid fucker. Ain't nobody gonna give you corona
I'm scared of God, I'm scared of corona.
I knocked your thing over.
I'm scared of God, I'm scared of corona, because I can't see them.
Bishop, Black Ice. Black Ice, if you want to come on now, I'm only gonna give you one poem, because then after that, the legendary Snoop Dogg gonna come. I want him to do one poem, though. One poem from Black Ice, if it's possible. I want him to do maybe the one he did that won him a Tony Award. Black Ice got a Tony Award for this poem if he comes up. Salute, he says, to Black Ice. It's a great one. Salute you for spreading such positivity. I try. God's given me a voice and also gives me inspiration, and he whispers in my ear at times.
Camilla Harris was in the Senate today. She went to the Senate today.
Camilla Harris was in the Senate today, and what'd she say?
And all them Republicans.
Black Ice didn't pick up.
All them Republican crackers, they
Why you gotta call them crackers?
because they're acting like the crackers.
Yeah.
They all.
That's what Elijah said. You motherfuckers are the devil. He said,
why
you say they're the devil? He said, you act like the devil.
Well, it's what you are. You can only know a person.
But you can't call a person a devil without them having.
But, it's your actions. There is each word of the definition, and your actions speak.
Black Ice said, I don't want to come on and spit a poem right now. He said, cannot join. He don't want to come on yet. Oh yeah, he said Black Ice wants to come on. All right, come on, quick, because in a few minutes, Snoopy Dogg, my nigga Snoop gonna come on. All right. Can we see him, Russ? No. You can see him, yeah. Black Ice, what up?
What up?
Uh-oh, your sound is bad. Why does Black Ice sound bad? My headphones. What's up, Ice?
Oh man, it ain't nothing. What's happening? What's happening over here?
I get ready to have Snoop on, so you're gonna be on the same episode with him. I guess it'll travel. Because we haven't started really promoting these stories yet. I'm gonna do Eric Sermon. I'm gonna do something to make sure people see
Black Eyes.
The celebration of Eric Sermon. Do me
What's
a
up?
favor, though.
Who's that? Gary? Is that Gary?
Brother Gary, right there. What's up, Brother Ice?
Brother Gary, what's happening with you?
Black Ice.
What up? Yeah.
He look all right for old man. He don't look fucked up.
Mark. It was you all that did that shit. So kudos
20,
to you all, and
Black Eyes was campaigning.
Yeah. What's good with you, Russ? What's happening, man?
I come back to America all the time, fucker. I've been back to not to you. I'm talking to a comment. I've been back 10 times. I had a big office party, stupid. Look at Google and see me and Mike Tyson and Nick Cannon. What? And I'm just saying I come back all the time to America.
Why you calling the president stupid?
Because they said something mean.
Well, they're gonna say that all the time.
So I've been back to 10 times, and I have a house there. Crazy. I don't know why they, I just sometimes. Black Ice, do me a favor, because we gotta get on Snoop Dogg. Could you
What's Bill?
The crack, the one about the crack in your fingernails. I don't know if you remember it. You got so many beautiful poems.
The one about the crack in your fingernails.
You should be nice. I'm nice. I'm just kidding when I say fucker.
You talking about 410 days in life. When you look at me and my brothers, what's your first impression? Does the sight of us leave you guessing, or do you understand the stress and the aggression? The look of no hope on me and my niggas' faces, like the Lord overlooked us when he handed down his graces. You see embraces fall short on the numb tips of street entrepreneur fingers, still stuck in the walls of the project halls where the coke smell still lingers. External blingers is all we can be, because on the inside we've been given nothing to shine on. And the record deal is harder to get than coke, so my niggas get their grind on. Because the TV tells us aim high, nigga, make all goals lateral. But see, that takes paper that we don't have, so niggas put their souls up as collateral now. Some niggas reclaim them, some blame them, make an excuse to sell them. But when a nigga goes from not doing to doing, what can you tell him? Not to be a nigga, shit, I got to be a nigga. That's how I pay the bills. And I'm gonna do that whether I got to sling this coke or exploit these rhyme skills. See, America makes you an opportunist, and at the same time, they institutionalize you. So the fact that niggas get big record deals, big money, and then go to jail shouldn't surprise you. That's what lies do. And see, most of these guys do have raw talent, just an infantile education. So the business feeds you all the weed and ecstasy and a little bit of paper to provide some pacification from all the bullshit frustration they serve you. Meanwhile, they corrupt your perception of what the real is. See, they've taken all our businessmen and giving them the mindsets of drug dealers, took all our messengers, made them rappers, just flapping their jaws, afraid to admit their treason, took all our soldiers for the cause, made them killers for no reason and being fucked up. Well, that's in this season. So if you're negative, you're positive. And if you're positive, you're called the hater. But I maintain control of my soul because I know it gets greater later. And I told you on the last show, shit, nigga, no hater. I just know what the truth is. Been intertwining this pudding for about a year now, so I know where the proof is. See, it lies in these Midtown Manhattan skyscrapers where former hustlers like myself sign papers and pull off fucked up capers like 16 infamous stars at a time. They got us chopping and bagging and serving that shit to niggas 16 bars at a time now. The crime is undetectable by the feds because in the heads of our kids is where the track is. And music is potent. It's straight to the soul, so it's much more addictive than crack is. Now the high is just an illusion. All lies and confusion. But to feel that rush just once, my young bucks to go through it. So in essence, they still flooding the streets with the thugs, drugs, and killing. They just use the record labels to do it. Taking our heartfelt demos, putting us in limos, trying to fuck up divine direction. But young black men have been trained to chase money and pussy. Kids add nothing positive to the earth. Black Ice been destined to touch the world ever since I was born. To be real, fuck a record deal. God gives me what I'm worth.
That's
Love
right.
you, nigga.
I love you too, Black Ice.
Donald Trump, take that with you.
Why Donald Trump not do it? Brother, I love you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, love you too. Hit me up, Russ.
Peace.
In a minute.
See, that to me, that was why poetry appealed to me. And poetry appealed to me so much because, let me see if we can get, poetry appealed to me so much because when you take the music away, a brother has to look inside a little deeper because the words are being analyzed and their brilliance has to come out because people are watching.
Why you don't call your friend?
Who's that?
Call your friend.
Oh, let me see. But you know what? That's such a beautiful thing when you have that silence. But you can't get away with it. So, Rita Z, Adrian, J Rap. No. You want to do this while we wait on Snoop? Okay. Let's see if he pick up. He might not even pick up. This was late last night. I asked him, press send request. And I said 3:30. He don't know. 3:30 LA time.
Oh, yeah, my brother probably.
He sounds like Christopher Walken. Yes, spoken word is impactful. Hi, baby.
Hi there. How are you, Uncle Rush?
I'm doing well.
Namaste.
Namaste, darling.
Are you still in Bali?
I am. And
how's it over there?
It's not Corona. But it's really nice when there's no tourists. There's a lot of people who live here, Westerners, Americans, and others. And they're here because it's such a holy place, a beautiful place. And so it's nice. It's vegan and yoga Disneyland. How's that?
That sounds like heaven. I have to ask, have you been to that famous, the tree house in Ubud?
Yes, the hotel. My friend stayed there.
Is it all that it's cracked out to be?
Nice. There's a lot of nice places here. It's really beautiful. And it's really a place I would recommend. If you have a retirement check, you come here and live like a king. And
I was there not too long ago. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. I wasn't impressed, however. I went whitewater rafting. The water was dirty.
Sometimes it is. It depends on where you are and the time of year. When it's rainy season, the water can be bad. So tell me what's going on.
I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia. originally from Cameroon. Hopefully you know where that is. In
Hey,
West.
thanks for what you all did in Georgia also.
Gary
Hmm.
said, thanks for what you did in Georgia.
Yeah, you got Trump nervous. He's out. Thank you. Kick him out.
We booted him out.
You did it. And now
Oh,
I want those two.
it's
Now I
not
want the
Georgia.
two Senate seats.
If we get the Senate seats in Georgia, a lot of the things that matter most to us will either be protected because we must be concerned with women's reproductive rights. We have to be concerned with equal high quality health care. That's just a goal, but even on the road to that, we have to be on the road to equal high quality education. We have to it goes on and on. We have to protect the rights that we've worked so hard for the gay communities and LBGTQ gay, the alphabet people. I shouldn't say that. That's what Dave should talk. We have to protect their rights, and we have to.
Like 20 years ago, and I've been living here in Georgia predominantly since I've been in the US, and it has changed so much. I mean, even with the election, the recent election, I'm so proud of how much we've progressed, to be completely honest. Um, Again, now that this is Georgia, you can tell the mentality is different,
I can
and it
say this
resonates.
because of what you're saying. I want to share this with people. Over 50-year time is how we measure the growth of society. 30, 50 years, not over 1 week or one presidency. So we're moving forward in many, many areas.
Absolutely.
Economic freedom for Black people is still a long way out, but in general, the laws, the amount of freedom that people feel from 50 years ago is a dramatic difference. It's a positive. So we have to take a net gain and have a positive attitude and continue to push forward. And sometimes we may take some little losses along the way. All these judges create problems that Trump put in. But still, even they will have to accept the will of the people as we march, protest, bring up the inconsistencies, the inequalities. We just keep pushing. And over generations, now I know it's a horrible thing to think that we have to live and die under
But it's the reality.
But we are moving forward, and we must keep our head down and our spirits up as we move forward. And the judgment of other people giving us pain, let them do. The angry left, I'm pissed at the angry left. They're mad at everybody who has a different opinion. Progressives are supposed to listen. That's why we're progressive, to listen. If we are progressive, we listen to others, and we make our own discernment rather than judgment. And we choose something that's inspiring to us, and we do that. Instead of judging others, we do good for ourselves. That's just an opinion. You made me think about it. I'm going to share it. Thank you so much for coming on. You look gorgeous this evening. So I don't know where you're going, but it's a shame you got to put on a mask. You're so beautiful.
You're too sweet. Thank you.
You're going to do your
thing, Have a blessed night.
All right, peace.
Take care, my sister. Be blessed. And
you cannot vote in Georgia. She's gonna vote.
Well, you can't say that.
Thank you.
We don't want to assume anything. We have to encourage. We need that Senate Georgia. If you're listening, Georgia, we got to get those 2 seats. Let's send a message to Donald Trump and these right-wing.
We must get the seats.
One thing that this election has shown us in America, that we are a divided country and that we have the racist elements that are more prevalent than ever before. Not since the 60s in the Jim Crow era have we seen so many racism prevalent in the face of America. And it's led by the President of the United States. And
he's gone soon, but my daily diet, I wake up, I drink a shot of espresso and an apple cider vinegar, and then I go to yoga. I do this. I do a little yoga. Then I go to yoga. I do a little stretching and stuff. Then I sit up here, meditate, and I go to class. I go to this very aggressive class. And the only thing I have in my stomach is a half a glass of celery juice, apple cider vinegar, and because I don't want to over 50 calories because I'm still fasting. And that's the only food I put in my stomach. It's not really food. It's less than 50 calories. I go to class. I sweat like a slave. I go to a hot class. And then I wait till 12:30. Then I drink a big, Snoop probably smoking cigarette. He's always on time, though. I don't know why he's not up. But listen, I drink a glass of celery juice. I let it settle. It sets up my digestion. And then I eat a half an hour later. And intermittent fasting, I don't eat till after 6 after that, or before 6 in the evening. And then I'm dead. No more eating. So if your stomach and body is empty, your mind and body empty together is maximum healing. Your healing comes from when your body is fully awake and alive. And the eating, if you're not eating, your body eats the sick fat inside you. Nice. You know, the body eats the sick fat because there's nothing to eat. So that's why you keep an empty stomach. That's the way we were kind of born. So we're going to have to, I don't know what we're going to do about our man Snoop. Let's just see who's on. Somebody
Snoop will get to us when we
We'll get Snoop, whatever.
You hit the wrong thing, brother.
Because that's my dear brother.
You keep hitting the wrong thing.
All right, bro. All right. Adrian, JR, Rap Shot. Some of the same guys. Hey, Adrian. Hey, JR. So what we were talking about with Georgia, it's got to be a top priority for all of us. It can't only even be for Georgia.
But one of the most embarrassing things that we have seen happen yesterday is when Senator Lindsey Graham from South Carolina.
Yeah.
He's calling the Republican Secretary of State in Georgia to intimidate him to let him throw out ballots so it could benefit the president recount. This is a sitting member of the United States.
Oh, Lindsey Graham doing that?
Yeah, and he did that.
Republicans fucking acting a fool.
No, they're beyond that. I mean, but to show you how low they will go, that's why I'm calling them a shithead. It's unbelievable, but it shows you how racist the South is. The South,
I posted
and
something.
Lindsey Graham is a racist Southerner also.
I don't know if the word racist. He just has an agenda.
No, it's agenda. It's racist. Listen, when Trump was running, listen what Lindsey Graham said.
I'm calling 50. Because I think it's Snoop. I think it's 50. There are two people that always were there when I need them.
They're just a bunch of racist bunch. And for all those Negroes
Where's
that
50?
stand up beside Trump and Lindsey Graham and talk about make America great again.
Let me call Buster. I want somebody on today. And I want to tell a story because we're doing a hip hop museum. I really want to promote the hip hop museum.
Get their ass off the pulpit. They don't deserve to be on that pulpit. Get them off. All those so-called Uncle Tom Negroes who always sell us out for a cup of coffee. For the first time, we see black and brown, Asian, and everybody uniting together to make the world a better place and to bring back some level of decency to America. And we got these knuckleheads that out there sitting down there talking about recount and I
try not to get too much anger in this because, it doesn't really help.
But we got to speak truth to power. Their crackers got to go. All of them got to go. As a matter of fact, in South Carolina, don't you forget, blacks.
You can't fight a war without this energy, by the way. They say to smile and breathe.
You got enough blacks in South Carolina. We can come together. We got enough blacks in South Carolina.
What the hell is Buster Rhymes change his number? How the fuck he change his number? If Buster changed his number, what did it say?
Mailbox that has not been.
Oh no, it's off. That's not changed. I would be surprised. We say, who the fuck else?
Yeah, we got to make some change.
Buster got a new album. That's why I want to talk to him. But he's also, it's funny, some people, Buster and Snoop in particular, still so big amongst young people, like they never got old. Fuckers just stay young. Yeah. Snoop Dogg is a hero amongst young hip hop.
That's a legend in his own right.
Who's that? Buster? Oh my God, I'm so proud of him. And look what he became. I saw his interview with Dan Jones.
He has come a long way. And we got to give him much credit for that. We're very proud of him.
We want to do as many hip-hop people, young ones too, but I want to get the ones in the hip-hop museum.
Yeah, we're going to get there, but let me hear what my friend Adrian, because, you always keep up with the news.
Adrian, yeah, he might give us some new news.
Good evening. How y'all doing this evening?
Hello, brother. How are you?
What up? What up? What up?
Oh,
What up?
oh man, I'm so delighted that you guys are talking about this because I've been trying to think of ways, to engage young people. When I ran my youth program, a part of what I used to do was bring local rappers in, and we had an initiative through with the mayor's office where we did dog houses, and those young folks created a little business. But that was then. But now with the NAACP, what I want to do is be able to engage young folks that love hip hop, that listen to the lyrics, because a lot of these young folks that are rapping, they talking about some good stuff. Kendrick, Snoop, J. Cole, they're talking about stuff that, when you're tied into real life stuff, it
Snoop
ties
old
into
though,
the
AJ.
huh?
Snoop is old. Snoop is old.
Well, but Snoop
I'm
led some stuff,
still.
and he went during that
Why you
time
gonna
during
call him that
the
old?
No, I didn't mean
during
old as in old in
during
age. I'm
Yeah,
saying he's
your
from
age.
the old school. He's coming from the old school.
yeah, but
His
Snoop
message is always going to be relevant.
Well,
yeah
as they get older,
You
as
got
any
some
of us,
knuckle rappers.
let me just let Adrian finish. But as anyone gets older, we get more wisdom.
There you go.
I kind of wish all the old rappers were the young rappers because they have so much to offer in
right,
terms
right.
of life experience. But go ahead, bro. What you were saying? What were you saying?
Yeah, and the whole idea is to make sure that these young folks can take the art and be able to express themselves, like Public Enemy. Public Enemy was way ahead of their time, still way ahead of their time, where they're able to take that art and to be able to talk about what's relevant, like Nas. They talk about what's relevant, but I used to use that in my mentoring program because that's what young people feel. And when you can always stay relevant and connected to young people and tied into real life stuff, you always can keep their attention. And I was successful at that. And now I want to do it to change some policy, because when we talk about young people in the NAACP,
Well, we did. We changed. You
you
know how many people? We got 10,000 black men out
that's
of jail. It was the
that's
rappers that did the work.
that's
Nas
why
was there. I'm calling him.
I'm following your
Oh,
footsteps.
everyone showed up.
Well, we still have
I did
work to do,
this.
Russell.
I'm following your footsteps, man. I've been studying you for 35 years, man. And
NAACP helped us, and so
yeah,
did the Urban League, and so did the
hmm
Nation of Islam, and
the
so when we
Rockefeller
put up,
laws, y'all killed it, man. Y'all
yeah, it
killed
was a
it,
moment.
killed it. And the not only that, the Million Man March, hip hop did that. Not only did the Nation of
Well,
Islam involved, but hip hop was
well,
involved.
Chuck D is the one I think helped.
Well, hip hop was a great influence, but it
Of
was really
course.
the
No, it was the Nation. They were on the ground. They
we
went
got
to
we got
every
to give
church.
credit. It was the
Mm,
brothers and sisters in the
And
nation
Ben Chavis was at every church
mm.
and
who worked
organized.
hard, yeah, and
All right.
the fraternity, the black fraternity.
But culturally, hip hop helped to set up the people so that they
Right.
would be willing to hear the message.
It's a force.
Mm.
It's a conduit that helps to propel the message. Yes. No
Yes,
question about
yes, without a doubt. I mean, you got some folks that's saying some stuff like when Jigga say some stuff, folks feel it. Nas say some stuff.
Jay-Z said, "Catch me in the kitchen like a Simmons cooking pastry."
Yes,
And we had
and
pastry sneakers and sold $40 million in sneakers that year.
right, exactly.
Catch me in the kitchen like a Simmons cooking pastry. Okay. 40
Right.
million pair of pastry sneakers. $40 million worth. So
Right.
anyway, brother, it's a pleasure to see you. Let's keep it moving. Love you,
Indeed.
man.
Love you too. God
God bless.
brother Adrian. Keep
Where
up the
the-
good work. But,
Adrian's good. He's got a good heart.
Russell, you were talking to Snoop at about LA time about 3 in the morning. You're probably sleeping.
No, it's not. Are you crazy? It's 3 in the afternoon for him.
Yeah, but I'm saying
3:30.
but at that time when you were speaking to him, he was.
Oh, he was probably asleep.
Yeah.
He said, "Russ, whatever
Yeah.
you want, man. No
Yeah,
problem. I'll be."
yeah, he's tired, man. He's Snoop. Remember, it's a vegan.
Our company in Asia needs to do work for him. I think he's very relevant there. Get him a good duet with a top Chinese artist. I think we should build bridges with China. Cultural bridges will lead to political bridges. The reason I bought into this company and became the chairman is so that I could build bridges between Asia and America. And right now, with Asia's economy booming and America,
Bridges can be built. Like we have to have respect, mutuality. We kind of come to the table knowing that one is not superior the other. And unfortunately, one of the things that I've deterred many people dealing with China, they have this kind of mentality that I am super than you, and no, so it's about really, it's about respect.
Americans can't be anybody more arrogant than America.
Well, America is arrogant, but there's a
Chinese do everything. They borrow every American cultural idea. They can't think they're too much better.
Borrow or they steal it.
Well, there's some business ideas. There's no Google there.
No.
They got their own Google.
China takes shit.
There's no Amazon there. They got their own Amazon.
China don't borrow. China takes. That's the problem.
Yeah, but you sound like you've been listening to Americans. They have a side of the story too.
Right. Listen, in China,
Snoop just called.
The money stays in China. You can't take the money out of China. It's so difficult.
Wait, Snoop called back. There you are, man. There he is. Hey, Snoop. There he is. Hey, look, there he is.
What up,
Snoop,
bro?
I need you to hop on the Instagram for about a few minutes.
Oh, Instagram Live.
Instagram Live. And then we'll.
Okay, you on right now?
I'm on right now.
All right, I'm gonna get on with you.
That's my nigga. See that?
That's not nigga. That's my brother.
Oh, now he's your brother.
Right. Well,
You called Chuck D, who doesn't even like the word. He was disappointed. Chuck D was like, "What, brother Gary, who was trained by the minister?"
Yeah, but there are times to hear the minister say, "You all acting like a bunch of."
No, but he. Let me see.
By the way, much shout out to the minister. He's
Minister
one can never be forgotten.
Minister Farrakhan has been a leader.
His contribution to humanity, to the Black America.
For years.
They
used him as a litmus test. And here's a man who would never back down. When they said denounce Minister Farrakhan, he just made a, Snoop. Snoop's courageous. He don't give a fuck. Nobody tells him. Nobody tells this man what to think or do. He's courageous. He don't give a fuck. He never has. He's been courageous from the beginning. This is why I stood up for Ice Cube, because I know that his intention was pure.
Where is he now?
I'm sure he's well. Well, I don't think maybe it's more scandal for what.
Trump ain't meeting with him no more. Why not?
No, but don't blame. Stop that.
Connie is going to
The timing may have been wrong, but his intention was pure.
I agree.
And Snoop stood up for Ice Cube. Because he said, why is it Twitter? Let Twitter, 10 people on Twitter destroy this man's reputation, and then they create this whole. No. By the way, bring his auntie, who Snoop knows very well as well, Auntie Maxine Waters, who's the head of the Democratic Finance Committee.
No, not the Democratic. She is the chair
of the Finance Committee for the entire House.
House of Representatives.
The House of Representatives Finance Committee.
Chair.
She's the chair. It's unable. We got to try him again. There he is. Send an invite to him. But wait, the chairman of the Finance Committee is Maxine Waters. So that she can help Ice Cube fine-tune his request and give it to the Democrats. Because his work was not done in vain, and nor was it done without an honest heart. And all this judgment, you're always judging each other. Niggas are bitches. I hate saying that. I don't like saying it because people don't receive my messaging, but Snoop Dogg, another courageous person. 50 Cent, he was offered $1 million. Yeah, he's offered $1 million. I knew that.
Snoop is a good
I remember when they offered him. But Trump offered $1 million for 50 Cent to perform at the inaugural ball, and he said no.
So is it that all black
and they
rappers,
judged him too?
All the rappers who were endorsing Trump, that means something was offered to them, right? Let's be honest.
I can't tell you what Lil Wayne did or didn't get.
Not one of them walk a free will.
Why they won't let us keep said unable to join?
Vanessa Williams said to tell you hi.
Vanessa Williams, the head of the Black Mayors Association, yeah.
And a great entrepreneur and a great ambassador in Africa.
An ambassador in Africa, yes.
Yeah. Our very beloved sister. Big up yourself. Product USA. They're good people.
They keep saying waiting for Snoop to join. And then it keeps saying unable to join, but it didn't say it yet. Now it's doing waiting again. Let me see.
The legacy of Snoop will always continue, brother. He's a great guy.
He hadn't even begun to start yet.
Snoop is who he is. Nobody can be.
But I want to play his music and celebrate him. Brother, I don't know why. It says waiting for you to join.
It won't let me in. I guess we got too much positive energy for to drop on.
Well, it's going to let you in a minute.
Snoop is the best.
We were just talking about how courageous you were, but we're doing the Hip Hop Museum, and it's 55,000 square feet. Let me just see if I can get you in. Unable to join. Let me try one more time. But it said.
Right, hold on, Russ. You kind of, all kind of.
Okay, let him try again. But 55,000 square feet, and they're celebrating the years before Snoop just now, and they're getting ready to go to Snoop's era. And we're building. They got construction working, and we got a lot of positive people. Did Trump offer you $1 million too to perform, Snoop?
Offer me a
He ain't offered me a dime. I wouldn't have
There he is.
to be there.
Yeah, I know you would never. You know, we from the street. All money ain't good money. We know that. There he is, my hero right there. Today, Snoop, I wanted to talk. It's spinning. It's your brother Warren G, and I want to work with you on getting his masters or a piece of them to help him. You know, we don't want artists to be retired like football players. Their music's still playing. Football playing still running. But Warren's music, I still hear it. I heard it the other day in a cafe here, you know. So a piece of it can come back to him if the record business is just and fair. And I'm working. I already called everybody at Def Jam, but we can keep pushing. So I know that's something you and Warren have been working on, and I care for Warren very much. He really saved my company. You know, before I sold it, he saved it.
Definitely. Well, you know, when we get into the latter stages of our career, we don't really have benefits set up for us. We don't really have a retirement plan or have things of that nature set up. So some of the work that we done, you know, we try to go back and, you know, make peace with that and try to get the piece of the pie so that way we can survive off of it like these companies do, like how they manage to make money years and years after the family dies. I mean, the artist dies and the family sitting around waiting on trying to get, you know, a few dollars. So we just want to try to put things in the proper perspective. And we're glad that you're working with us and giving us the opportunity to even try to seek those masters.
Well, I think that there must be some partnership. I talked to Holston and some of the people at Def Jam, some of the senior people. We got to go to Lucian. Lucian's got a message, even though he was very sick from corona. But we're going to keep pushing. And I think that Warren G will get some of his due. We're going to make it our business. And the next thing is, aside from me staying on that, I want to get you some stem cells. Sure. They got, my nigga, let me tell them, because if you get stem cells, they build up your lungs. Because I want you to live long. I want you to live forever.
That nigga Snoop is going to live long.
He's smoking, though, right now.
No, but it's good shit he's smoking.
You know what? Trust, you know, you and my son on the same page because my son told me a few things. My oldest son, he was like, you should stop doing this and stop doing that. So I stopped eating meat for a day or two, and I actually felt better.
Well, you will if you stop eating meat. The arteries, you know, you get dementia, you get hypertension, you get heart disease, you get diabetes. You don't get diabetes from sugar. Well, you know, processed sugar, but regular sugar from fruit and all. So it's all animal products, you know, and the fact that you feel better when you do those days, it's all right. All you do is have these experiences. You know, I used to sniff cocaine until my brains blew out, like not sleep for days, smoke a lot of water. And then I used to wake up in the mornings when I didn't get high, say if I just fell asleep, maybe too high from the day before, but anyway, I fell asleep and I wake up clear-headed and I felt better. And so it's hard to do that every day, but then after you do it a little bit of a routine, you wake up and you don't want to go back. So that's how people get off certain things. But I think you got a pretty good life. I watch you work out. I watch you take care of yourself. But the only thing I would say is the stem cells for your lungs will strengthen and fight the scar tissue so you can smoke into your, because you may not quit smoking.
I'm going out.
I'm going out like, well, I mean, I'm going to try to push you to go on a fast with me when I start my process.
When he comes to Bali, you get him on the.
When I come to Bali, when you come to Bali, nigga, I'm building a Snoop Dogg house.
One of the first.
Nigga, I'm building a house. You know that?
First in Bali.
The
Like that.
first of the houses I built on Samadhi Circle, beside my own house, which is built,
Wow.
and the hotel.
It was inspired by Snoop.
Because I was inviting Snoop, and I said, this nigga not going to stay in the Ming Lee suite.
No.
Or he's not going to stay in the Yoki Lee suite. This is a grown-ass man. He got a wife, you know.
No, it's Snoop.
So we built a house for you
Right.
under your name.
That's love.
But I didn't call for that, Snoop. I called to tell you that I want to celebrate you, and I want the Hip Hop Museum. Maybe they can call you at some point. They're really working. They've been working for years. And there's a guy named DJ Rock before they were rap records. Me and him used to fight over DJ Hollywood and Eddie Cheap and the original rappers. There was no rap records. And this nigga would give parties. And sometimes he'd give a party next to me. And, you know, I'd have Eddie Cheap and he'd have Hollywood, and we'd both be sold out. And niggas be sneaking in each other's party, and they'd shoot out what happened in the street. We kept shit clean inside. But the point is, that was my man. And I watched him work his ass off, kid. And now he's building a 55,000-foot museum. Are you in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? You are.
No, I'm not. I inducted
Him
two.
and LL Cool J. That's why.
That's a mistake.
This is why we building our own fucking museum.
Right, because they
fucking Dogg is not in.
They got the order wrong. First of all, you got to take care of the grace before me, and then you got to get to me. And sometimes they be going out of order because they be trying to be politically correct instead of being, you know, musically correct.
Snoop, you know, you're so humble, man. The nigga that come from where you come from and carry that kind of humility is beautiful. That's an evolution, man. Because I'm going to tell you something. As a person seeing it from the very beginning, you belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yesterday. You and LL Cool J belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yesterday.
Long time ago. Not
so, you know, I like the NWA is there, and I like a lot of people there. You know, Ice Cube could be. I mean, whatever. Whoever's there is great. But you don't need, 20 white men sitting in a room deciding which niggas go in the Hall of Fame. Fuck the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We build our own. And we're building our own now. The construction is going on. And they're going to get to your era. Your era is now. See, you and Buster is about a couple of you niggas that just never die. You still hot as fire right now. And you've been around a couple weeks. A lot of niggas come and go, and they've been great. And they deserve to be celebrated. But you, it's like you still playing in the game, but you belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, so I just want to tell you that I know that.
Let's make that push for it right
now. We're going to push for it.
Right now.
We're going to push for it. When the building opens, there'll be a big celebration of it.
Say that Snoop must go into the Rock.
I'm not the chairman.
You don't have to be the chairman. It's the people's power, man.
But the chairman was the president, Def Chairman. Rocky is my nigga. And we're going to make sure that Snoop is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Him and Dre. And LL Cool J.
To me, I respect the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but I would rather, and I would dearly respect the Hip Hop Hall of Fame more than anything. You get what I'm saying? What y'all building, because it's from the culture and it's from people who actually understand the roots and the essence. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is called Rock and Roll because it was built for we just so happened to break.
White crackers.
We broke that wall.
Stop saying crackers, Gary.
We broke that wall down to where our music is more popular than rock and roll now, so they have to submit. Rock and roll was the most popular music when that was created.
We can build our own. And we can build our own. Snoop, let me do. I'm gonna take a break. Not really take a break, I'm saying, but I want to just play some Snoop. I want to play your first. What's your 187 was the one that really first time I really like. This is like genius.
That was
187, right?
First song that everybody ever heard me on was off the Deep Cover soundtrack.
Deep Cover. All right, we're gonna play that, and then we're gonna come right back. Now we're back, and I want to play a lot of your music. I don't know. I don't need but a few minutes for you to have a double, or triple, or quadruple session. You know. You've done so. Go ahead.
I want to play a record, though, that I played for you in the back of a limousine one time when I was in New York. And I came out there, and we was talking about Fat Farm and some other shit, but I had played you a record. And it was like a homage record paying tribute to some rappers from New York. It was New York, New York. And you was like, man, that's a great record. You was like, go and put that shit out. So we put it out. But by the time we put it out, it was a lot of misconfusion, a lot of misunderstanding, and it looked as if we was disrespecting as opposed to paying respect to the great New York, New York song and the rappers.
New York, big city. Come on. Let's play that motherfucker right now. But wait, Snoop, let me say this. When the beef broke out, a lot of people, they don't realize you out the hood, nigga. I know you got the hood in your head still. but you're out the hood, and now you can look back and see where there's some inconsistencies and some inequalities and some reasons that niggas is doing dumb shit, and you could just be a little voice, and you can't just judge them and, you know, like you never judged them. You just say, nigga, don't, you know, you and your man Nipsey Hussle, you were Nipsey's father. All that beautiful stuff that came out of his mouth is because he looked up to you.
Wow.
So all those beautiful things, that wisdom that you give back to the hood, and even then as a young man, you know, you can see it in the movie, nigga was like, I ain't got no problem with them. And I remember we went to Minister Farrakhan's house to squash the beef. And the next week or so, you were on TV with Puff. Just to avoid, you know, the poison. You know, like why? Why young black men who's getting money got to fight? And you, not because you, and the thing about you, Snoop, this is what I was saying before you got on. The courage. You ain't scared. Nobody don't scare you. Niggas didn't never scare you. And so you said what you wanted to say, and you said, I ain't got no beef with them. They ain't. And you said that on the radio, and a lot of people were mad at you on the West Side because they just was angry and they wanted to fight about something because they ain't have nothing. I mean, that's not a good reason to fight. That's a good reason to build, but some people resort to fighting because they ain't got nothing. And Snoop said, I ain't got no problem with them niggas. They ain't never did nothing to me. And that was beautiful, Snoop. And you did that as a hero, or as an original, because the rest of the niggas wasn't thinking like you.
Right.
So, yeah, New York was a great example. You made that record.
Man, and I was told that, you know, from talking to some of my ancestors, that I'm one of the grandkids of the slaves that they couldn't kill. So my courage is a little bit different because I cut from a different cloth. I'm one of them ones that wasn't going for that shit back in the days. You know what I'm saying? You know, one of them slaves that got away, that broke away, started his own revolution, that showed how to fight. If we move, we better.
Well, you definitely that, Snoop. And, you know, I see that you also branch out into so many things. I see you invested in Beyond Meat.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but, you know, you see, I talk a lot about, I got the picture behind me and all that, but I really want to save lives because I lost so many friends. I lost at least 14 friends to COVID. And I lost them because of their diet, because they had all of these pre-existing health conditions.
Right.
And so I want to try to change our people to get different habits. Because once you get a good habit, you know, it feels good. You keep doing it. It ain't really every day you got to be so resilient. Every day you got to be so, you know, it's just a natural thing. You look for what feels good. If you do good, you take your kids to school, you drop them off, you be like, you know, and once you drop them niggas off, you're like, oh, I did my job. I did God's work. You do the right work.
That's a fact, because my whole life I've been real athletic. I played sports, but I never fucking liked working out or hitting the gym. But when I started hitting the gym from talking to Wiz Khalifa's who turned me on to the gym. My young homie, we was on stage together and we used to take our shirts off. And I used to be bigger than him, and then all of a sudden, a few months later, this motherfucker was bigger than me, had more wind than me and more everything, and I'm competitive. He was like, I go to the gym. And once I started going to the gym, it was a struggle in the beginning, but once it started feeling good, it's like I do that shit when I want to now, not because I have to.
Make you feel good when you finish it. I go to hot yoga every day, kids. You go in there, it's 190 billion degrees in that bitch. You walk in, and then you sweat like a slave. You take that shower, and you come out of there like in heaven because your circulation is flowing, and you're cleaning out your arteries, and you're cleaning out your mind, and you feel better. Right. So you do things because when you get to know it and it becomes a habit, so then you don't have to be so, they say, oh, he's got so much resilience. He's so, you know, no, it's your habit. You do it because it feels good, but you got to start somewhere, and it may not feel good in the beginning, but you got to keep doing it. Just like you find food over a period of time that adds up to, you know, you feel better and you realize it's the food that got you there.
Right.
So Snoop, we talk about doing an album. I know it's a secret. I don't know if I should say it.
No, not right.
China?
Not right.
No. But, you know, because I built a company, you know that, for all of Asia, and I want to help make sure that we don't leave our money on the table all over Asia. And I feel like the white men in the suits are not managing black artists or even bringing them up. The agents from the agencies that represent them in America got one man in China who can't even speak Mandarin. I got 30 people in China that all speak Mandarin, and they love Snoop. So things like that, I want to try to build bridges and try to help our people make money where their influence is.
Yeah,
So that's more.
because those athletes a lot of times transcend very well in foreign markets. Basketball players, soccer players, and sometimes they don't maximize the strength of what they can do because they don't have the right agents to put them in those powerful positions. But once you start traveling the globe and seeing how much the African man is respected and loved and appreciated, then you start to know the value of being able to, take your business outside of America and, get some of them global dollars.
I'm gonna open up offices in different parts of Africa. We're working with, because of COVID, everything slowed down, but we definitely want to. Because when I joined the company and I put my money in, we had 11 offices.
Well, you got a big.
And 13 now that we have one in New York and one in LA. But I've got in there just to build the bridges so I could take our people, Naomi Campbell and Kyle, the basketball player, your man Guzman, and and find stuff for them in places that the white guy in the suit is not really focused on them properly, but maybe I can. So that's what I'm doing.
Well, you got something big to announce soon, coming up soon. That is going to really help.
I have an announcement soon, but I'm not worried about that. I mean,
but that's going to help you a big gap.
I want to know from Snoop, because I see he's been political. He's been involved in the social change of his community. I want to know what's on your mind. Like, what do you think in the future of our people now that Joe Biden's in office? What you think?
I think that we need to have a new generation of politicians being bred. We breed a lot of athletes and entertainers and musicians. We need to start breeding politicians so we can understand what these laws and legislative things mean to us before the election. So it won't be such a scramble at the end and you voting with emotions. Because a lot of times we have no information, so we just base, the vote on, emotions or what we were taught and what we were told. Like the dynamics of knowing politics is having people who come from your community who can explain it to you, who can give you that information, teach you, spread it, and continue to grow. Just like the athletes and the entertainers. We breed those because we know at the end of the day that there's success behind that. There's success behind being politicians. We just need more of them. We need to start, making kids know that it's okay to be a politician at an early age, to try to figure out what it takes to be, a senator, a governor, a mayor, or even the president, because we can be anything now.
Snoop, listening to you, and I think about the generational curses that people hand down from father to son. You're building a beautiful legacy of breaking. We come from a certain part of the hood. You're different. I came from before you, but the gangs, I was in a gang. Nigga, if one gun went off, everybody scattered. We ain't had no guns. One nigga had a gun in the 7 Immortals. I was in the Immortals, Herbie, and if Herbie ain't show up, we had problems. And if we didn't need them, because we really didn't need no guns, because they didn't have no guns in the Black Skulls. Niggas, they had bats and shit. But when a gun go off, when you came up, kid, nigga, I watched the movies and be like, my heart hurt. I watch Man Society, it's like, these young, stupid motherfuckers, they'll do anything, right? So you grew up in an era where they passed the guns around, they gave away. By the time crack came and they started selling crack in our communities, I was just getting out of it. You know what I mean? So I missed the stupidity that they put in our community. I come from a lot.
I was a dealer, Russ, and the thing was, I had a 9 to 5. I was working in a grocery store, and I was coming home late every night, and my homies would be outside selling dope. And one day, my homie was like, "Cuz, how much money you be getting paid working at Lucky's?" I'm like, "Shit, I be getting like $85 a week on my check." And I was happy as a motherfucker. That nigga pulled out like 3 G's and was like, "Nigga, I be..." You know what I'm saying? This nigga living right in front of my... So, the next day, he gave me 3 rocks. He told me, he gave me 5 rocks and said, "Bring me back 50. Them motherfuckers went so fast. I was like, shit, I done made $50 in 15 minutes. So it was like the brainwash was from a young man having a 9 to 5, coming home to a gang affiliated neighborhood where really I'm not involved. They my homies. I'm not really gang banging affiliate like that. But once I jump on the dope game, it's full fledged. You got to be it all now. You got to do everything. You got to have a gun. You got to be able to watch niggas that's going to jack you. You got to watch these bitches. So it's like the antennas of the game changed once that was inserted because you had to learn fast.
Very sad, man, that they did what they did to our community. They don't never take responsibility for having sold crack to our community. They never take responsibility. It's why, and I always say be nice, and just say things so people can digest it. It's why we call white man, we called you the devil for a reason. Not because you individuals are devils, but the collective behavior. Not the individual I'm talking. The collective behavior was so hurtful to our community. Snoop survived. And still is institutional racism and what the police unions are doing to protect police.
But they're still fucked up. They're still
So there are many whites now marching in the street and who want to see change. And they came together with us and voted out Trump, which it should have been easy, but it was harder than we thought. But we still got work to do. We got to have institutional changes that make it easier for us to come up out of the hood, that our houses have value, that our communities have health care, that our communities have equal high quality education, that there's so much we need. And we should just keep our heads down, smile and breathe and push for it. Don't be angry, because even now in our transition, being angry is not going to help us. Then if you're graceful, some of the people who might have thought they were one way might get your way. But if you're angry, it just creates this war that America is heading towards. That's just my opinion. Snoop, let's play some more music. I mean, Ron Banks, my favorite motherfucker. Ron Banks, Snoop put Ron Banks on the song I Lost My Mind. Because besides for Nate, I guess Snoop's other combination that really got me was Ron Banks. Because he died, they didn't even mention his ass. That's why Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ain't shit, because they didn't even say Ron Banks died. That nigga sang Toast to the Pool. He sang In the Rain.
From the fabulous Dramatics, you know what I'm saying? And these was like groups and artists that I was a fan of as a kid. So when I was able to make records, when I was able to make my first record, I told Dr. Dre, I want to get an old school group to sing on my shit, the Dramatics. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want, the whoop wops or the boop bops. I want the Dramatics. It means we got them, and then once I laid it down and we got to meet them, they met my mom, and they was just the coolest dudes in the world. My mom used to go to their concert, be backstage, getting all hook up. Then I was like, it's one more piece of my album missing. I want to do a remake of a hip hop song because ain't nobody ever remade a hip hop song, and I want to pay respects to one of the greatest rappers ever. I want to do Lottie Dottie. So we redid that, and everybody cleared that, and it was the first time somebody had ever redid a rap song in hip hop as a rapper.
I'm gonna have to play that now. But wait, the Dramatic song, I'm playing that motherfucker. I love that song. And I produced. It's how we get, Snoop. We get a little money and a little bit of influence. I'm gonna get the Blue Magic. I made a whole Blue Magic album, nigga, and they played all over the radio.
I need to get that. I need to get that out.
And I made Day by Day over with Chuck Stanley. You remember that? They played that shit on your radio every day. I had a top 10. It was number one. Day by day. I produced that. Because I just, I had the time, and, everybody LL was recording with the LA Posse. Your niggas, Dwayne them.
DJ DJ Pooh Bobcat.
Yep. DJ Pooh. That's your man.
That's my guy. Who produced Super Rhymes?
I produced Dollar Bill Y'all, and I produced, Dollar Bill Y'all was the one that was the close. Bubble Bunch, I produced them too. But the Super Rhymes record, we found him, and he wasn't getting paid like a lot of artists. What happened I was just talking to EPMD, and what happened with EPMD was they was on Sleeping Bag Records, and Sleeping Bag was going bankrupt, so we gave them a bunch of money and signed EPMD. So we had their second album too. Same with Nice and Smooth, their second album too. And Super Rhymes was the same way. Like, he was on the label. He made that big record. I doubt he got paid. And so I got him and produced myself the Bubble Bunch and then Dollar Bill Y'all. So, and I worked with him for many years. He worked at the office and all. He checked out. God bless him. Rest his soul.
Warren G was so influential of him as a rapper and a writer. I don't know if you can hear that in his lyrics. Like, Warren G was a Jimmy Spicer, like, all his lyrics, his delivery. This DJ, he gets down, mixing records while he go around with it.
Yeah. Warren G saved Def Jam. Would have been on motherfucking Def Jam. what happened, well, it would have been because we just rebid. It was a moment in my career. I was very lucky. Def Jam was down $20 million almost. And then we got somebody to pay like 40. And we bought the half of the company that we had and put a little money in our pocket, and we still was cold. But then came Warren G. And then came Montel Jordan. And then the floodgates opened. Then it just went crazy. Then we just had, LL give us a new album, and we're lucky to get that in the break. And then we get Jay and DMX and whatever. The company start to flourish. But when Warren came, we was ice cold company.
Right.
And we seen a nigga on, and I was.
Warren had the flavor. He had the flavor that we had. It was like, it was the new thing, and he was fresh.
Snoop. When I got Warren G, Suge, God bless Suge, because he was always my nigga. I never had no problem with Suge, but people around me were scared of Suge a lot. But, he never really, they say he was looking for me when I signed Warren, and I went to look for him and talk to him. They said, Snoop, and I remember the little Jerry Black, little record nigga said, I'm Jerry Blavitt, Philadelphia, like he's a mobster, talking to Snoop, because Snoop was talking to me, and Snoop was like, so you signed Warren G? I said, well, nigga was free. I signed a free nigga because he wasn't a slave. I signed him, But everybody else around me was scared that them niggas was good. They had Snoop. You were there, Snoop. They had him in their sights on Jamaica Avenue, walking around scaring me. And the niggas around me ain't as pussy as me. Them niggas is gangsters. And they had him in their sights. I said, leave him alone. And you don't even know it. He's about 2 seconds from getting mopped. But he didn't know it. And you know what? Me and him worked it out. The record went on his soundtrack.
Yeah, but
you can avoid conflict, man.
See, but
everybody wanted.
You a player, and that's what I was trying to explain to him at the end of the company before he did his time. I was trying to go see him to tell him, look, let me shake hands with Biggie and Puffy on TV. Let me end this shit. Let me do business with them. Let's figure out a way to where Bad Boy and Death Row can connect. Pac is dead. They trying to lock you up. Let me keep this shit alive. And nigga was like, no, I don't want to hear that. So it was like, to me, that was like the piece of the puzzle that made me just say, you know what, I got to start fresh and, take a loss, take a L, a lesson, not a loss.
Yeah, that, for all the yogis out there don't know what the fuck that it's in the scripture, and they can't read it properly. The L is for a lesson, not a loss. It's in the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, too. So he took a L, a lesson, and he had to get, I always say love everybody, all the time. Love people from a distance, and that's what you did. That's a beautiful thing. Take a L, a lesson. So I want to play a lot of your music, man. I'm going to play so much of your music. I don't know how many. Don't stop what? He ain't got to stop nothing. You're such a good person, Snoop. It inspires me. And I want to, again, he's spinning around. I want to thank you for coming on and taking your time to talk to me, man.
Definitely.
There's so much wisdom. I could talk to you forever.
A legend in his own right.
You're a legend. And I'm very thrilled that I can still have you as a friend. It makes me whole when I can have friends that I've known from the beginning of their career till iconic stage. Yeah, we lost him. He left.
But here's it. There's always going to be many rappers, but there will always be
only one Snoop Dogg. That's it. So look, we were so blessed to have him. But I want to play his music because he needs to be celebrated. And I want to make sure that when that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame put Snoop in there, that is something beautiful that happens. Like there's a party and a celebration, and people know. And the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they can do what they want, but the Hip Hop Hall of Fame
is where we are at.
And but let's do both. They need to push for that.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, until you take care of yourself, your own, you will always be in debt and enslaved.
No, I don't believe that. I believe the future can be a little more.
Why are we making the Hip Hop Hall of Museum now?
Hip Hop Museum is so we can have our own shit. Wait, there's Rocky right there.
Why?
Wait a minute, I gotta go back. But I want to see Rocky. I just seen him up here. There he is. I want to ask him what the fuck we doing with Snoop Dogg if he picks up. Or maybe it's just somebody from Snoop Day 2021. Yeah, maybe so. Rocky,
What up?
What are we doing with Snoop Dogg in the museum?
We are, celebrating his legacy just like everyone else in there. I heard the whole discussion about a Hip Hop Hall of Fame. Museums preserve and celebrate legacies, and Hall of Fame celebrates individuals. Big difference between, a Hall of Fame and a museum, because a museum gives immortality not just to their namesake, but to their whole body of work, so to say. So it's, to me, a museum
It's
is
just
like,
terminology. I got it wrong. So it's a hip hop museum, like the
correct,
Getty Museum.
correct.
Right. So it's not a Hall of Fame. That's just a moment that you receive some kind of indoctrination.
That's
right?
it, and that's it. A
But you're
museum,
gonna put LL Cool J in that motherfucker, right?
everybody's in it. LL, Snoop.
But let me just say something. But about LL Cool J though, they didn't celebrate him yet at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So let's try to, if we can, in our board meeting, talk about the fact that what makes you different is that you recognize your heroes from a more cultural standpoint. You understand them, right? And if you understand them, then you can make better choices than not knocking the record industry, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, God bless them, but this museum will celebrate us in a way that is cultural because we know our culture.
Correct.
Cool DJ Rock knows our culture. That's for damn sure. As the founder, and Carmen, who was the president of Def Jam, knows as chairman, she knows our culture and all the people that participate. LL Cool J, Nas, who else? A lot of people. I'm gonna make sure everybody participates. Snoop wants
listen,
to talk to you. So does VPN's Eric Sermon.
Eric
Wrap up. I got
Sermon,
yoga.
Chuck, Curtis Blow. We're celebrating the entire, global evolution of hip hop from the very beginning to where we are today. That's the beauty of having a museum. It's endless. A Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they get very selective on who they put in. Whereas a museum, we celebrate everybody. As long as you had some sort of recognizable impact on the culture, this is going to be your home. So, from executives and owners like you, Russell, and people behind the scenes, the promotion people, the radio people like Mr. Magic, he's got to be inside the museum. So it goes on and on and on. I think, from what you just said, we understand the people, we understand the culture, we understand the impact that each person brought to the culture. And that's why a museum is so careful in making sure that the person's stories are accurately told and celebrated. Because
I gotta go to class. Gary keeps nudging me. I gotta go to yoga because I don't miss class. I love you.
Listen,
I'm gonna call you back. We're gonna keep promoting the Rock and Roll, the Hip Hop Museum, and I'm gonna keep pushing to find more finance and support. And I have a few calls to make on your behalf. I made one yesterday. I'll tell you about it later. I love you.
I love you too, baby.
So let me close out. I got to run off to class, but I want to say this. We're grateful to have Snoop visit us today, and we're grateful to be able to celebrate him and his music and to have a museum being built. And I'm going to keep talking to the stars of hip-hop about what they've done to create. And we didn't even you could talk for 84 hours with Snoop, and you wouldn't even get into all of what he's done. But that's why he needs a movie. His life story needs to be told in a movie. We know we'd line up to see it. Hollywood, you got a bunch of movies to make. I love you. God bless you all. Namaste. Okay. Now the editing of Snoop Dogg, get a list of his top 20 songs. And we're going to play little bits of a lot. New York, New York is one. Along with Ron Banks. Ron Banks. Ron Banks. Ron Banks is dramatic. The night is dramatic. Every little thing you want to do, know.
Anjir goblok. Mengeluarkannya tak keluarin mentah sih. Enggak. Bosan dia. Cukup nih. Kurang tengah sekali sih. Cukup. Kenapa besar hidupnya nih? Gak kenapa kan? Untung gak apa-apa sih. Enggak. Takutnya, wah anjir. Tapi aneh. Aneh nih. Tahu ya. Money. It's gonna be a long punching day, Cok. Gimana? Are you sure you want to end your live video?